Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Andrea. Great to be with you.
So on Monday, President Joe Biden signed into law a site for a National Medal of Honor tribute. What will this tribute be?
Right, exactly. We're very excited. He signed into law authorizing the National Medal of Honor monument to be positioned on the mall in Washington, D.C. It's the first step in constructing it, and that's what our project is set out to do.
So what is the timeline and how is this going to happen?
Well, that's a great question. So it's the first of a few steps where we don't have the exact site identified yet. We're down to a few, and there's some more meetings and committees that we'll go through to work with the Park Services to determine the very specific plot of land that it will be. We know generally down by the Lincoln Memorial. And then a design competition to understand what we're going to build, and then the build process itself. So when you stretch all that out, we're still a few years away from tourists in Washington, D.C. to be able to enjoy the monument there. But it's a very, very important first critical step.
And how did this idea come about?
Well, I work for what's called the National Medal of Honor Museum Foundation, and the foundation really has three prongs, if you will. One is the monument that we're talking about on the mall in DC. The other is a physical museum in Arlington, Texas, which is where I'm talking to you from. And housed in that museum will be the third aspect of the project, which is a leadership institute centered around the characteristics and the values that the Medal of Honor represents.
And the National Medal of Honor recipients themselves, there's about 66 still alive. What do they think about this?
Right, the 66 living recipients, they're our urgency to build the monument in the museum. We want as many of those 66 to be able to stand in front of the monument, put their hand on it, walk through the halls of the museum, present a class to a group of school children in our leadership institute, or adults, whatever. That's our urgency. That's our effort.
What is it about this tribute that you're most excited about?
Well, I'm most excited to really bring Medal of Honor recipients more to the public's knowledge. By that I mean, I'm talking to you in the Dallas area. I think a lot of people around here could name more starting members of the Dallas Cowboy football team than they could Medal of Honor recipients. And I'm excited to be part of an effort that will change that. If people come into our museum or walk around the monument in DC, if they walk away knowing one or two or five names of recipients that they didn't know prior to that's a win as far as I'm concerned.
Great, Chris. Well, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Andrea. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.